Hey, welcome in, folks. This is Babbaginator. Hey, EG. I guess we're starting off with a Baba Bark and a Hydrate. Okay, let's fuel up on water. Hope you're having a good weekend. All these potatoes gathered. Dearly beloved potatoes, we've gathered here today to celebrate your imminent cooking. Seriously, I need to find my last maple sapling. I need that travoy. Just a good old travoy, never meaning no harm. In trouble with the bears ever since. No, trouble with the law? Trouble with the claw. Ever since the day I was born. Oops. Put too many in there. Oh. I guess we'll just boil water. Okay. Where did we put all our stuff down? Like here a bit. Oh, I forgot about this guy too. Hey, Psychotic. Yeah, updates coming quickly. That'll be exciting. Everything changes. Yeah, I guess we're gonna skip these guys. Oops. Like that. Well, we should cook that at least. Oh, here, cook it. Yeah. I sent an email I was dreading setting because I hate making decisions. But I finally made it official and I turned down a housing offer for campus housing, which I honestly think if I was in my first year, I probably would have taken. But it's a 1-year commitment. and you're on the hook if you finish early, and you're on a meal plan, a mandatory meal plan, which is kind of pricey. Do we need it? Anyways, in the end, I thought I might. Oh, it's pretty foggy out. I don't know if we want to do this. Easy to get lost in this. So yeah, I decided to turn them down. I don't know. There are definitely pros and cons to the. So it's like so it's called Green College. It's it's kind of modeled after like an old school UK system where you have like 100 people living together and you all have dinner and breakfast together, and there's like an expectation that you do a lot of lot of interaction with the people in sort of the college of graduate students. It's meant for interdisciplinary studies, so lots of cross-discipline conversations. Yeah, I mean, honestly, on paper it seems fine. But there's a part of me that's looking ahead to the fact that I most likely will finish in April. The contract is through until August. And so I would be on the hook for paying for extra months. Because the moment you graduate, you're out. And that's the other thing, is it's housing that's not long term. It's housing as long as you're a student. And if you're no longer a student, you can't stay in student housing. And there's a good chance that I will choose to stay after graduation. I have an offer to stick around for another 6 months to continue in the capacity in the job that I have on campus, which is a good paying job. I mean, it's not a professional rate, but it's definitely a living wage, for the community. It's like $32.60 an hour. And work up to full time. So that's quite reasonable. So yeah, I mean, I looked at the video of like the spaces. The dining hall is pretty cramped, and the communal kitchen, which you can use on the weekends. Because their meal plan only covers 5 days a week. It doesn't cover the weekends or holidays. So there's a lot of stuff that's like, okay, I'm paying for this, but I actually don't get to use it all the time. And you're locked in. Like if you say, well, I want the meat option, you have the meat entree the entire month that you signed up for. That you can change every month to say, oh, I want to go vegetarian next month, but every meal there's like one meat entree, one vegetarian entree, and that's it. So there's variety week to week, but you're basically stuck with whatever the kitchen decides to make for the meal. I'm one of those people that actually enjoys cooking, and cooking is a stress relief for me, and I like cooking for other people. And the more I think about like not having that, like access to that, the less happy I am about it. And it's strange because what I am looking forward to, like I am looking for housing right now with 2 other people. We have talked about the fact that we would enjoy like maybe once or twice a week having taking turns cooking dinner for each other. And so I think like I am still looking for that communal experience. I just don't want it on the scale of like 100 people. Yeah, so I think Yeah, there's a couple things that just kind of don't quite work for me. And they would work for someone else. They might even have worked for me like the first year. But I also feel like it's an experience that's really great for a young graduate student, someone like in their 20s or 30s. They're at the beginning of like defining themselves as an academic or as a scholar, and they really, really thrive on forming these connections with other people at that stage. I am an anomaly. I am coming back to school after already been having been through, an entire career as a computer games programmer and a second almost career, like I was all trained up and ready to go as a university professor. The market just didn't work out. But I did the work for a number of years where I taught and I facilitated workshops and I mentored people. And I wrote letters of recommendation for people that applied for academic positions or for graduate school. So, I mean, I was in the role of an academic without a university. So I've already had that experience. The reality is that if I want to form professional networks at this stage, I want personal connections with faculty and not graduate students. I want connections with people that are at a similar place or just ahead of me. And so, and then, yeah, so I'm really looking for people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s is who I want to connect with. So when I go to professional conferences, that's the right space. Like I had a great time at the Digital Humanities Summer Institute at University of Victoria. It was perfect. It was a nice cross-section of people from like graduate students all the way to faculty and professional librarians with like 15, 20 years of experience, right? And so I felt like that was a great space to be in. I want to be in more spaces like that. As a writer, those are the spaces I move in, is working with people who are mid to late career as writers. That's my peer group. And then people at the beginning stages are the people I mentor. So the analysis was, what point society threshold does problem happen in a group or small problem writing? Yeah, and I also find like personally that I am happiest in dinner conversations that are around 5 to 7 people, right? And in theory, you can have tables like that, but I just, I don't know. I worry I may have missed out. This is the part that I worry about. Like, I kept second. I had to make a decision by tomorrow, and so I sent off the email this morning, and I finally pulled the trigger and said, okay, I'm going to turn them down, even though they made a last-minute, like, opening for me. Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7 is the cap, right? I mean, it's not super cramped, but it's still not like a big space. Yeah. I don't know. And maybe it's a bad photo of the space. Maybe it actually feels bigger when you're inside it, but I don't know. I thought about the fact that if I moved there and then I graduated in April, well, actually I'd finished schooling at the end of April and then graduate in May, I would have to vacate in May, which would mean I would have to move yet again. And if I were really traveling light, that's not a big issue, but I have enough stuff. I mean, I've got a whole, like, computer rig set up with 2 monitors and a printer and all this other stuff, camera, webcam lights, stuff like that. And I've got probably at this point around 150 books. And yeah, so I just have stuff. And I just see, like, even moving this summer was a bit of a hassle. It took me multiple cartloads of stuff to move it over to this place. And that was just crossing the street from one building to another building. So this, this this at the end of summer when I move again, I'm looking to move someplace where I'm not going to have to move for, you know, possibly 2 years, right? Because I want to finish schooling and then I want to work for about 6 months. And then if the university makes an offer for a full-time position, which is a possibility, if the funding lines up and I've demonstrated that I'm of sufficient value to them to keep me around in a full-time capacity, then I could move into, you know, a professional librarian role or some other role. And at that point, yeah, I'm not looking just to keep moving over and over again. There's a possibility if I get a full-time professional role with the university, if the pay is right, I might move one more time and basically set myself up so instead of having 2 roommates, I just have 1 roommate. Yeah. But you have the Travois. Yay, good for you. Okay, we've got clarity here. Let's move closer at least. Okay, we're gonna go over to the little barn. In the morning, we'll leave from there. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I hate making big decisions like this, and I hate feeling like it's FOMO, right? I'm fear of missing out. I'm fear that this decision. So here's a very silly, or maybe not very silly, very real concern that that whereas I may not have necessarily this, you know, green may not have been what I'm looking for professionally in terms of the type of network. It would have been good for me socially to be exposed to even more people, you know, to be part of a larger environment. Yeah. Hey, Rena. We're just talking about the fact that I just turned down a housing offer to move to Green College, which is a graduate on-campus dorm for like graduate students. It's set up like the UK system, so it's like 100 people living in a very communal way, in the sense that there is everyone meets for breakfast and for dinner, and then they have events at the space, and there's just expectation. Yeah, it's Hogwarts. Basically, it's Hogwarts. And I was like, the problem with the contract is like, if it's a 1-year contract, so, but it's also conditional on you being a student. So you sign the contract for 1 year, but when you graduate, as I will most likely in May, you're on the hook for the remaining months that you've already signed for, even though you're not actually eligible to stay. Which is kind of frustrating. And it's mandatory meal plan, so you don't get to cook at all, really. You cook on weekends if you're lucky. So yeah, I don't know. You know me, I like to cook. Yeah, I know, but it's an interdisciplinary college, so it would have been like great to hang out with people, to get to know a lot of different people in different fields. But as I was saying earlier, I think there's a part of me that really yearns for that type of community, not at the early graduate student phase, but actually with professionals, with people who are working professionals in their field as faculty or otherwise, because that's really my professional and my age bracket. So yeah, that's why Hagrid had it. Are you saying I'm Hagrid? Maybe a little bit. I don't have the beard. Okay, so Roller, thanks for the hydrate, and we are going to read. Yeah, I do prefer you guys. You are my community. Yeah, you are my community. You people, my good. Did we ever decide what we're going to call you? I have jokingly referred at one time to the people that follow this channel as Baba Nation. Baba Nation. Abomination? No, that sounds like... Okay, hold on a second. You're not the bugs. No, you're not. Okay. Let's see where we want to go. We're going to read something, is what we promised to do. Someone has redeemed a poem. We are on day 26, 27? I think 27 now. Void. Okay. Well, we'll do this one. This one is a little more complicated, but hey, it's early in the stream. I have energy to do this. So we'll actually introduce you to this a little bit more complicated poem. Why is it a little bit more complicated? Because it has a visual component. So we have to show you what that looks like. Okay. Let's see, void. Void is on 48. Okay, so I'm going to stare into the void. Yes, we will. See if this works. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. So it works in 2 columns, okay? This is from Babbage's Dream. There we go, Babbage's Dream. Published by Sundress Publications in 2017. My second book of poetry. So, Void uses a quote from Charles Babbage's great treatise on the economy of machines and manufactures, 1832. So I take his text on the left, that left column, which I found really interesting, and then I write in the right column a series of comments or extensions on those lines. So the poem can be read down, left down, then right down, or it can be read across. So we're going to read left down, so this is Babbage's original text, then right down for the poem on the side, and then we'll also read it across, so you get the sense of how it transforms itself in this way. Void. Of those machines by which we produce power, it may be observed that although they are to us immense acquisitions, yet in regard to 2 of the sources of this power, the force of wind and water, we merely make use of bodies in a state of motion. By nature we change the directions of their movement in order to render them subservient to our purposes, but we neither add to nor diminish the quantity of motion in existence. The mind of gears, the heart a spring ever winding, a chorus of marionettes upon a stage, before the red curtain, a field of irises widening in the dark. Whatever we take in, whatever we process in the silent fist of memory, each flows through the invisible lines, jangling our chains, lifting our wooden limbs, animated by living fire, an ocean of regret we cannot return from, cannot cross in small steps. How we long to tear free from the needle bent towards home, our one tiny shred of night at a time, the way we open our mouths to silence the stars and their brilliant ghosts, to fill the still numb void with words. Of those machines, the mind of gears, the heart a spring by which we produce power ever winding, a chorus of marionettes, it may be observed upon a stage before the red curtain that although they are to us a field of irises widening in the dark, immense acquisitions, whatever we can take in, whatever we process, yet in regard to two, in the silent fist of memory, each of the sources of this power flows through the invisible lines, the force of wind and water, jangling our chains, lifting our wooden limbs. We merely make use of bodies, animated by living fire, an ocean of regret, in a state of motion we cannot return from, cannot cross. By nature we change in small steps, how we long to tear the directions of their movement free from the needle bent towards home, in order to render them, one tiny shred of night at a time, subservient to our purposes. The way we open our mouths to silence, but we neither add to nor diminish the stars and their brilliant ghosts, the quantity of motion in existence, to fill the still numb void with words. So basically, that was really the idea, was to think about like what, to imagine a voice in parallel to Babbage, completing the lines, extending them in a different direction, that would also operate as its own unified poem. This is actually really tricky to do. There are two poems in the collection that do this. There's this one, and then there's another poem called Comment, which has to do with a company town hall meeting, and the spokesperson from like the upper management of our multinational company coming to tell us that although we had done well, we also were too broke to be able to they were too broke to pay us bonuses, and they were going to lay more people off anyways. And then the person telling us this, standing there in a $3,000 outfit, just thinking, or whatever ridiculous amount. Maybe the bag was worth $3,000. I don't know. She was dressed to the nines, and I just thought it was just really hypocritical. The whole thing felt hypocritical. Yeah, exactly. So that's that was Void from Babbage's Dream. It was really, really bad. So the comment poem basically is what we're thinking, in response to what we're seeing. Okay, so we're back again. So we are on day 27, I believe. Let's see here. Day 27. We could press on further, but I kind of want to take it easy. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else we can go. Gladly yeet them into the void. Oh, did you see that? I totally missed this the first time I was here. So if you come here on a non-interloper run, you can sometimes find the knife stuck in the door, like that. So do we need it? No, we already got, well, we already had two. I was going to use one for doing, like crafting arrows and stuff like that, just to save our... Hey, thanks, Roby. Yeah. Appreciate the hydrate. So here's a tough call. It's like, do we march out in the growing darkness? We're gonna do it. We just go out. If need be, we'll light torches. And the weather has been very nice. So I think one of the things I'm going to have to do... Well, I guess we should do some shoutouts here. I know Roby has a stream.
Almost. Almost. Did you see? Why? Yesterday I did it just in time. Yes. We're on the table. We're on the table. Did you see? Parkour!
Parkour!
Yes.
Okay, and we'll do a shout out for Neps.
And then out of nowhere, I hear a dog. It's like, bow wow. I was like, whoa, what's up? And then I turned down, looked down the hill, and then like, boom, there's ptarmigan. I'm like, what? So then, boom, wolf comes up, eats one of them, gets it. I'm like, oh man, that's mine. And I'm like, wait, take this opportunity to kill another one real quick. So boom, hit that ptarmigan, snapped his neck right there in front of the wolf. Wolf was like, that's my bird too. I'm like, no.
Okay, good storytelling. Okay, let's see here. A little fiddling here. There we go. Okay, we'll keep marching. We are super heavy. It is a known thing. Let's see if we can lighten our load a little bit here. Okay, that's a little bit better. So we check and see if the bear is here, and then if the bear's not here, we could just sleep in his cave. That's what we'll do. When the bear is here, we'll just shoot him with our flare gun. Shoot him with the arrow, and then flare gun. Or we just go up to the signal hill. Now let's check out, see if Mr. Bear is here or not. I think bears are low because we've only seen one bear this entire run. Sarifa, yeah, let me give you a little description of the challenge here. So we are doing a custom challenge where we have a few weeks ago I wrote a custom challenge random settings. How do I put it? So a randomizer for the settings in custom runs. So like we run the generator and it spits out random settings for a custom run. And then we took those and we punched them into Long Dark, and we saved out the codes that those settings would generate and create a list. And then we randomly chose one of those custom codes, and we started to run, and we did not look at the settings. We just started it. So we have no idea what our settings are in here, and we have to figure it out. And we spent 50 days trying to survive, trying to figure out our settings. And in those 50 days, we need to forge arrowheads and make a bow. We've successfully made the bow. We actually need to do some forging. We have found some arrowheads already, but we'd like to do a forge still. We have to travel from our starting position to an exit region that is far away from it. So since we spawned in Pleasant Valley, we're going to try to make it to Forsaken Airfield. So we have to make it to Forsaken Airfield by day 50. And try to think what else we have. So far we figured out we have no wolves on this run. Wildlife seems to be passive. We started off with a pretty high baseline resource and medium starting gear. Fishing seems to be very effective. We got a lot of fish when we went fishing. No birch bark tea for recovery. Bears appear to be low. Moose appears to be low. So that's kind of where we're at. So that's why I'm pretty certain we won't have a bear here. But I could be wrong. I've seen one bear. One bear this entire run. But this bear has not been seen previously, so I'm assuming it's not here. But I could be wrong. So how you tell is you go over to the den and you see if there's any bones in the inside of the den. Or if you see a bear. I mean, obviously if you see a bear, then you know you got a bear. So it's looking like a no bear, right? I don't see anything with color of bones in there. If there's no bones, then we'll just sleep here for tonight. So this is, yeah, this uses the DLC. This is the funny moment where TLT plays a joke on us and there's actually a bear in here.
Feels like night is coming.
No bear. No bear, no bones. Okay. Put those down. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, we grabbed both pots. We didn't need to grab both pots. That was a mistake. We'll take it with us anyways. I already have it with us. If we leave it in the cave, we'll forget where we put it. So, tomorrow night, no stream. I'll be running my online D&D game for friends. But we'll be back on Monday. Go. How do you get from Mystery Lake to Pleasant Valley? So go to Mystery Lake. To get from Mystery Lake to Pleasant Valley, you have to leave on the north end of. So go past the dam. There's a road that goes past the dam, and it takes you to the ravine. And then you have to travel. Oh, wait a sec. No, that's going to take you to the Coastal Highway. Sorry, wrong one. What you want to do is you want to go through the dam itself. And if you go through the dam and go through the lower dam, eventually you get to a place where you can exit through a side door. And when you go through the side door, it's a one-way trip through that door. And it takes you into a region called Winding River. In Winding River, it's a little tiny area that has, I think, one wolf, a few rabbits, some deer carcasses, some cattails, a cave, and then a connector cave that takes you into Pleasant Valley. So we're going to be going the opposite direction. We're going to travel from... We are in Pleasant Valley right now. Our goal is to get to... We want to get to Mystery Lake. And then from Mystery Lake, our plan is to go to Forlorn Muskeg. Do we need more food? Probably not. Yeah, you have to go into the hydro dam itself. Feathers. Way over here. Yeah. This way is very steep, but this is, if you're wearing the crampons, it's not too bad. Just try to travel in a straight line. But yeah, the hill is very steep. Much easier to go down than it is to climb up. Otherwise, you have to do... Oops. See, I went off center and then I managed to do that again. Wow, 3 of them. Good job, Astrid. Now we're really all wobbly. Let's see. I want the wobbly ankle. Okay, we climb to the top. Two sprained wrists. Oh, that's wonderful. What's the recovery time? 2 hours. So I think we should head towards the cave. There's a cave up here. You know, we can sleep in the cave for a couple hours. Won't have to waste bandages and heal up. Up here should be the road. The cave is up here. Yeah, it's so weird to have a run with no wolves. You get so used to waiting for wolves to attack you. And in this run, there are no wolves. They're extinct. No wolves. Anywhere. Timber wolves, maybe, but no other wolves. So when we make it to 50 days, we will pull up. I do have stored away somewhere a cheat sheet where I could look up the code and it'll tell me what the settings were. So we will do a final reveal when we get to the day 50. And see how close we were. All right. Question, can I start a fire with spraying wrists? Nothing. Can you get back from Pleasant Valley to Mystery Lake again? Yeah, it's just you have to take a slightly different path. So we're going to go from Pleasant Valley to Mystery Lake. That's the path we're starting on right now. Just getting some meat here. Doing a little cooking. Because we're still pretty early in the day. And because I'm trying to level up my cooking. So yeah, up here on this hill, there's a cave. Okay, our weather here is really nice. We might as well use our mag lens to start the fire.
Come on, little fire. Come on. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Get rid of extra weight here. Go check out the cave, see if there's anything else we need. Yep, here we go. Always good to know where there are caves that have beds.
Being useful.
Okay. Since our clothing's so good, we actually don't need to carry around a lot of teas to stay warm since we're already like plus 33 right now. It never happens, but we'll take advantage of it. We have it. Oh, perfect. I believe those are maple saplings. That means we have our path forward for getting a travois. Ooh, 3 of them. You can even make extra bows. Oh, and look at that. Extra arrow. Yeah, like the Three Stooges. Larry, Curly, Moe. Okay. So where are we going? We're going to enter Pleasant Valley, or we're going to go to Mystery Lake, which means we have to pass through Winding River. How do we get to Winding River? Winding River has an entrance that is up on a hill to a cave. You have to be a little bit clever trying to get up there. We go up this way? I think we go up this way. Oh, this is too far. Okay, I'm gonna go over this way. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I grew up, even though it's from a different era, I grew up watching reruns and rebroadcasts of Westerns on PBS. Especially some of the early westerns, the ones from the 20s and 30s. Watched all sorts as a kid. So yeah, came up here. Ooh. Then, just finding up here is a cave. I must be pretty tired. Yeah. We're only an hour in, though. I usually go for 2 hours. But sometimes if I'm very tired, hour and a half. Earlier, it was this afternoon, late afternoon, I was helping to run a workshop on Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games for new DMs. That was kind of fun. Oh, Rena wants pros before wolves. Okay, so let's dig out something out of the archive. Creative nonfiction. Okay, we will do we'll do something from my aesthetics essay, I guess. So I had an assignment back when I was doing my MFA in creative writing to write an essay on my personal aesthetics, like what makes something poetry or what is art. And I was pretty indecisive, so I actually wrote 3 different ways of thinking about it and then tied it together in a 4th one. Guess I could read part of that then. So this is 3 takes on an aesthetic and a synthesis. 1, writing as apocalypse, beginning with a quote from Kandinsky, the artist Kandinsky. Everything that is dead quivers, not only the things of poetry, stars, wood, flowers, but even a white trouser button glittering out of a puddle in the street. Everything has a secret soul, which is silent more often than it speaks. Kandinsky. What I want from my art and from my writing is to reveal what Kandinsky hints at in the above quote, to lay bare the secret soul of the seemingly ordinary world. Perhaps it's my rejection of a world where language has become arbitrary and meaningless, and an insistence instead that there must be something that lies behind each word, as amorphous as it may be. I hold on to an old belief that writing is akin to sculpting, that there is a blankness presented before in the page, but buried in that blankness is the remarkable and astonishing. It's up to me as a writer to discover what lies within. It's my obligation as well not to flinch when I find it, be it terrifying or joyful, brilliant or dark. To be an apocalyptic writer, I must approach language with an awareness of each word's historical and psychological weight. While it is impossible to have a complete knowledge of all the ways history and prior writings might inform a reader's experience with a word, an awareness of the complexity of the reading experience and a close crafting of each line can help tune the reader into a much richer experience. What is beautiful, then? From the apocalyptic standpoint, beauty arises out of the countless unfoldings of the natural world, the fractal and the infinite. To approach each object, place, and person with an exacting attention to detail will only reveal more astonishing detail, more unexpected beauty. It is an artichoke full of wings, to echo Neruda. It is that white trouser button abandoned in a street puddle beneath the moon. Perhaps it's the programmer in me that seeks this quarrying for a core. It is, after all, a recursive act to call upon the same function, examine item, which calls upon itself with increasing specificity until at last it reaches the indivisible and singular self, which can only be called its secret soul. 2. Writing as exile in memory. As the contemporary Chinese poet Liu Hongbing once said, writing poetry is the beginning of exile. From the outset, once we put ink to paper, the poem or essay has moved out of the home of our mind and into a strange new place from which it can never truly return. Writing exiles the idea from the creator, exiles the artist from his community, and exiles the moment from its historical context. The work becomes a letter, adrift in the world without name or destination. It wanders from mind to mind, book to book, always in search of its rightful home. Still, even if writing ultimately makes the work itself a refugee, the act of writing is an act of attempted salvation or restitution. We write to remember, or to recreate what we fear to lose, or most likely have already lost. I write to capture a certain stillness in place, the moment of the pendulum swing, even the sense of weightlessness there. If the present moment that I write becomes exiled from the past and future, I must find it a new land to set down roots. Each manuscript is a calling together of lost children from the same village who come stumbling out of the darkness, violence, and obscurity into the space on the page. If writing is a form of exile, then what is beautiful must be that which echoes something from the land I came from, some familiar line or phrase borrowed from the language of loss and memory, whether that land is a place in time, in the world, or in some buried emotional reality. It is a meeting ground for many people. It must be universal language, something that lies at the root of what we all long to say, but do not know how. Okay, so that's 2 parts of it. So that's about half. Okay, so more prose. Thank you. Okay, and we are back, tramping our way through the cave into Winding River. You can take the shortcut down, but we're not going to do that. Oh, thank you for the cheer, Rena. Much appreciate the bits. Let's try to see if there's anything else here we need to find. Is there a dead guy? I think there's a dead guy over here. Nope, there's just leftover bits and pieces of stuff. Won't get worried about picking up everything, we just want to keep moving. Oh, I think that's just going to loop around. We don't want to go there. Oh boy. Oh, some coal. Oh, we did want to go the other way. Cool. More coal. Take that. It's easier to break that one down. 77. We don't need to take two of them, so we'll leave that one behind. I don't know if anyone remembers him. It's been a while since I've seen him stream. But Survivor Pickle, reached out to me recently on Discord. Asked if I was running an online D&D game sometime soon. And I am, but it is for UBC graduate students mostly. So, but I do think that I will... When one of these games wraps up, I might do a more open-ended game. See who else in the larger community wants to join in for fun. Alright, there's our exit. But I will admit, I'm starting a new one on Sunday, tomorrow, and I have still not finalized the principal plot or whatever the hook is. I have like a loose hook. I just need to finalize things. It's bad. Usually I have a much better sense of where I'm going with it, but I've run so many over the last few years, I think I kind of starting to run low. I don't know. I'll come up with something. It's an urban campaign. That's the thing that always throws me off, is like having a good reason why people are doing stuff within the city. They meet in the graveyard. They meet in a grave. They meet at the funeral of a friend. I might do that. That's an easy one. They rise to the challenge? Nice. Okay. Okay, good news is we don't need more torches. At least not right away. Was that our last torch? We threw away our last torch. That was kind of... No, we got 2 torches left. Okay. I had a very fun one-off that I ran a couple times where the party starts off discovering that they are actually... They waken the bodies of a band of adventurers who failed a ritual that was supposed to teleport them out of the depths of the dungeon. So instead, their souls have been swapped, and yeah, it's body swap. Yeah, it's called the Graveyard Shift because. But anyways, they wake up in the bodies of a different group of adventurers, and they begin at the bottom of the dungeon. It's not a very big dungeon, but they have to go like 5 rooms to get out. And basically they're dealing with the undead creatures that the previous party had not been able to deal with and had fled from, so... It also, kind of, the final boss is a very bored flame skull that actually just wants to be entertained. And so, if you can figure out, if you can convince him that he doesn't need to kill you, and instead, like, engage him in something else. Like, then you can find some other ways to deal with him. Should hydrate, except for I just drank the last of my water. I have to refill. Okay, we are going to arrive just in time to our cave. Next cave. carbohydrate, and a stretch. Your Mage Isle Chessboard Adventures Classic Game Challenge. Oh, yeah. So another thought would be to start them off with a relatively simple campaign that cements their connections together, and then use that as the jumping off point for something else. This is a group that's mostly played together for one previous session, or not one previous campaign. So they mostly know each other. There's one new person, but they get along well with the others. So. Oh, what happened to you? Oh no! Oh no! There's been a murder. Someone murdered this guy. That didn't happen by accident. That, my dear friends, someone backstabbed him. Literally. Who done it? Somewhere out here in the wild, there's a murderer. Oh no, it was me, because I'm the only person here. Maybe it was Astrid. Maybe it was Will. It was the bear. But I can tell you it wasn't Scruffy because there are no wolves. Very sad. Could be a bunny. Still plenty of bunnies around in the world. You can't equip a weapon with 2 sprained wrists. You don't say. Okay. What? Did it just bounce off of him? Just bounced off of him. What's going on? I want to wait for him to get to the snow. No, he changed directions. How annoying. Ah, over his head. There's one. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a miracle. Miracle. Amazing. Oh, it's almost bedtime. Oh, bedtime for Astrid. At the very least.
Okay.
Okay, let's drop some stuff here. Go ahead and drop all this stuff. This stuff needs secure. Yeah, we'll go Fire Striker.
Come on, little fire. Perfect.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
So we got the new update dropping, I think that's tomorrow.
Come on,
And
little fella.
then we have, then the week after, I officially start my summer term, doing an intro to Python class, which will probably be pretty simple.
That didn't work.
Wow, Astrid, having difficulty here.
Come on, little fire. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Do we need anything else from him? No, let's just leave him here. Okay, so let's see how we're going here. 28 days.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, starting to wear out. There's a part of me thinking I might just want to go to bed early. Take it easy. Oh, you're going to turn into me. Well, I'm probably going to turn into. Eyes are starting to close, but yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's pick up our pile of goodies. Okay. Whew. Definitely getting tired. Oh, we should have eaten that before bedtime. Sleepy. Boy, we're going. Tired. Tired. Being distracted. Okay. Let's focus. Oh, so much excitement. Okay. Oof. Okay, I'm going to briefly pause to go get some new water. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, you got to hear me fill up the water bottle. Okay. Well, what's up here? So our goal is to make it into the dam. That's where we're going to wrap up for the night. What do we got here? Can. Ooh, jar of peanut butter. More firewood. More saplings. More carcasses. We just got raided. Deadpool. Deadpool, welcome in. Welcome in, raiders. We're actually getting ready to wind up ourselves, but thanks for coming in. If you're new to this channel, I am Babbaginator. I stream The Long Dark.
Shit, he's just
Canadian
running.
streamer.
I really hope he doesn't
Writer.
fall.
Computer games
He's not going
programmer.
through the wall.
Currently studying library
I
science.
can't even aim.
Oof.
I start hearing something, I get terrified. I was like, oh god, is he murdering me? Is he opening the door? I thought he was opening the door. Oh my god, I thought for sure I was a dead man.
Yeah, are you still wolf wrangling? What are you up to? Current run still going well? New start. Oh no! No, no, not a death. We're super heavy. It's just the nature of things. Oh, no. Yeah. Nope, now we both run. So slow. You just take a pot shot on this guy. Ah! Short. Oh, someone else's bomb. Do you have a request? Ah, so you want something from one of my friends. Will do. Who's so heavy? We're carrying so much materials right now, crafting materials, because we're just short of what we need to make the travois. And we're just short of making a wolf coat. The reason why we're making a wolf coat, even though we already have like expedition parkas on this custom run. Oh yeah, and if you're new to this channel and haven't been following the challenge, we're doing this really weirdo challenge. Travois? We're doing You Know Nothing, where basically we're doing a completely randomized custom run where we were given the code and we don't know anything about the setting. And so, oh, Travois! If it became a sled and we went downhill on it, yeah. Okay, let's see, what can we eat here? Let's eat peanut butter. Oh, getting sleepy again. Gotta keep marching up to the dam. So yeah, the wolf coat is special in this particular run because so far we've been able to determine that there are no wolves. So then the only wolf hides we find are ones on dead wolves that were planted in the game. So someone suggested we have a side goal of making a wolf coat since wolves are extinct in this run. Other things we've determined, it is likely passive wildlife, high baseline resource, high fishing, medium starting gear, no birch bark tea for recovery, bears appear to be low, moose appear to be low. So, yeah, we go long stretches without really encountering much beside rabbits and the occasional deer. It's a very quiet run in that respect. Not like Spawn and Blackrock with high timber wolves and high wolves. Okay. We're almost here. Almost here, folks. Almost at the finish line for tonight. Just have to make it into the dam. Now, someone had asked how you get into the dam. You're coming from Pleasant Valley. Well, we're about to find out. Involves some death-defying acts of courage. Damn carefully. Yeah, that's how we're gonna go. Alright. Okay. Check out a few things before we go up. Okay, nothing hiding in here. Ugh. Tired. Okay. So tired. Sleepy. Okay, gotta focus. Gotta return to Adam Trudograd. Porton Dam. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna have to go around the other side. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Don't fall asleep and fall off of the dam. Gotta focus. So yeah, you just have to hug this until you get to the other side. You've completed the Freedom Story branch. Now discover the Law branch. So sleepy. Hey, yay. Now we are here. All the way here. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. I don't need to be this sleepy. Okay. Okay. Do I have enough for some words of wisdom? Maybe. We'll figure something out. What do you want to hear? Oh, you wanted the last poem to be from someone else. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, little fire.
I stole the rabbit when he did. Okay. Hey,
Maybe useful.
I'm tired. Ta-da! We made it in. Okay, so we will figure things out next time. I'm tired. Keep closing my eyes. We are on day 29. Oh boy. That means we've got... Wow. Tired. Okay. Yeah, so we do have a request to read something. I will do that. Let's see. I picked up some new stuff here. Not poem friends, just poets that I like their work. Poet friends, shorter list. Could we read from this week? No. I think maybe. Let's see here. Oh, I know what would be good. So a friend of mine has a new book that just came out. Let's see if I can find a poem from it. Oh, who else just joined us? What? Another raid? Welcome in, raiders. We are in the preparing to wind up. Wind down. We're going to sign off soon, but we're going to read something, a poem from a friend, and then we're going to read probably one of mine. So let's see. Let's do it. We'll do something from...
Maybe there's a one of these things I can break down while I'm, yeah, 1 hour? That'll do. Are you... Wow. Wow. Are you serious? I'm sorry. That was... That was nearly game over there.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Ruben Casada. Let's see, got one here. Does he have anything for? There's a new book out. Oh, here's his official website. This should be good. Okay, so oh, I guess that's not out until October, so he's still publishing parts of it. To Okay, well, so I can't seem to find anything from his latest book that is forthcoming later this year. I would love to do something from that, but I don't see that. So we're going to read something from his first book, which was called Next Extinct Mammal, and the poem's called Last Photograph of My Parents. Ruben Casada, San Jose, Costa Rica. Tortillas clap against flowered palms, steaming bowls of avena, frijoles black as the rumbling sky. Arroz con pollo simmers. Against the kitchen window, small clouds rise. Papi dances to the electric beat of the marimba, his cheek bristly against Mama's neck. His thick fingers sift through her wispy hair. I am nowhere to be found, neither in the foreground nor the background. Today I sit in this chair in the corner of my house, covered with a poncho of blue flowers, looking out at asphalt roads overflowing with rain, fogging the glass. Along the road, steam rises like blotchy fingerprints. So that's the last photograph of my parents, Ruben Casada. So I'll put that in the chat for you. And then we'll read something of my own. So let's see. So that's from Ruben Casada, and then we'll read one of our own here. And let's see what we got here. Poem chooser. Yeah, we did that last time. Let's do something else. How very appropriate. We will do Seeking Shelter at -50. This comes from my first book, arguably one of the most TLD sounding poems that I've written. And this was published back in 2008, so before the game even existed. Seeking Shelter at -50. Trying to thaw, we sat by the dim warmth of the wood-burning stove, brittle as our clothes, frozen, our few words a visible fog. Outside the thin wooden walls, the wind-driven branches tapped like blind men, or perhaps a prisoner in solitary testing the depth of his world. Down the North Gravel Road, an abandoned farmhouse full of imagined lights whispers the shuffling of raccoons, old papers. In the gullies, ghost cars, still shining like new, rested where they were thrown, miles away from anywhere. And far above, stars the color of snow, each a lone boat drifting in the dark sea. So that was Seeking Shelter at -50 from The Lost Country of Sight, published by Nhinga Press in 2008, winner of the 2007 Philip Levine Prize. So a little behind the poem on this one. Yeah, so the poem was inspired by one of the winter camping trips we went on for Boy Scouts when I was in Scouts. And one year it was amazingly cold. It was so cold. I think we did spend one night outside, but most of the time we were in these not insulated wooden shacks. They're pretty much cabins for the summer, but they had wood burning stoves on the inside to keep you warm during the winter. And I remember I had these leather mittens, and somehow they had gotten wet, and then they had frozen solid. And I remember tapping them against the side of the wood burning stove, and they sounded like cowbells. It was so frozen stiff. A lot of the details are actually directly from that particular camping trip. There was a stretch of road, and I think these days I know what it is now, but back then I had no idea what we were looking at. A stretch of a farmer's field where there were just everywhere old cars from the 1930s and 40s just stretched out everywhere. I now know that this is a thing that farmers tend to collect, like a lot of farmers end up collecting these old vehicles, and they end up just taking up space on their farmland. But it did look like they were all like cast off of some sort of train that had just derailed at some point, and then they were strewn out all over the place. And at night, it was a really spooky sight to see them all out there. And then, although I didn't go to check it out, there was one night some of the scouts, some of the kids decided that they wanted to go out and check out this abandoned farmhouse that was not far away. And so they trekked out there in the dark to explore the farmhouse, and then reported back that, it was really, really spooky and there were all sorts of strange noises, but they figured it was mostly raccoons. But yeah, so that's kind of the world. But minus 50, yeah, that's a real thing. The coldest I've ever experienced with wind chill factor in Saskatchewan was when I was a kid, and we got to minus 63. It was minus 42 with wind, minus 63. So never want to experience that again. That was miserable. Okay, so let's figure out who we could go. Oh, let's see. Let's double check here. So we are now on day 29. So make certain we've updated this. Day 29. Chill vibes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, we're on day 29. Okay, so we're going to find someone to raid. Although it seems like everyone's raided us, so I'm not certain who's left. Guess that's what we'll find out here. People I don't know. So there's a Japanese streamer with 50 viewers. Mama Zidani? Zubak? Don't know. Glitch Monkey has 6. Roby-Wan Kenobi was in here earlier. Maybe we should go back and support them. I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we'll go back, join Roby-Wan Kenobi, and return the favor. Okay, so I think they're just starting up their stream. Yeah. Doing Conan. Interesting. Okay, so we visit another TLD streamer. We'll be back again, not tomorrow night, because I'm doing D&D tomorrow night. Monday night, I think, is the plan. So we'll see Monday night. We'll push on. We're breaking 30 on Monday, which means we're, 3/5 of their way through the challenge. So. Okay, so we'll bring our happy crew over to the other side. Thank you all for hanging out with me. We will be back again soon. Till then, take care, and we'll see you on the other side in the chat of Roby One Kenobi.